Hey, hey. Good evening, everybody. We are here. It's story time. I hear and won't let nothing hold me down. Gotta do it. Because I may not get another chance. I believe. So that they don't see your finger every time. I'm hearing the echo, so let me see if I can turn this down. Okay, let's see if that's better. Okay, that's better. All right, it's story time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so excited to be here tonight. And I have Miss Shaquena tonight. Now, Shaquena, I hear echo on my end. Do you hear echo?
No, ma'am.
So if I hear echo, then what we're going to do is we'll tell the people. Now, can you do me a favor? Can you move over a little bit?
Which way?
To your left.
Okay.
The other way, to your right. Yes. A little bit more to your right. Oh, move your camera. Just that. Move your camera a little bit. You look perfect on the YouTube, but on the Instagram, can you move that device a little bit? There you go. A little bit more. Keep going. A little bit more. The other way. Yeah, a little bit more. Keep going. You ain't moved it. There. Keep going. A little bit more. A little bit more.
It's gonna fall over because I don't have it. I have it propped up.
Okay, move it over just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Shaquena. Thank you so much. That's good. That's good. I am so excited. Okay, mute. This is what I want you to do so it won't be an echo. We will mute when the other one is speaking. That way, we'll try to do it that way. So while I'm talking, you mute. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have Shaquena here right now. And I am so excited because this young lady on mute. I was trying to control the echoing. So here's what I'm going to say. Can you hit mute for 1 minute? Because if it doesn't do what I needed to do, then one of the devices I'm going to cut off because I don't want to hit the. Okay, now that's good. That's good. Whatever you just did, that works. So while I'm talking, maybe you have to mute. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your patience. You know, when we're on these technical devices, we have to do sound checks. So we want you to know that we're excited to have you here today. I'm going to go ahead and invite some people in here and let them know we're here. If you haven't taken time out to let them know to join us today, because we're getting ready to make sure you hear this amazing story about this young lady. Let me just take a couple of minutes to let people know that I'm in here. And you can do the same thing. All right. Shaquena.
Yes,
how you doing tonight?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm amazing. And we're so excited because, you know, a lot of times people, I say this all the time, we meet people on the internet, on Instagram, on YouTube, all these devices, and we really don't know who they are. So I'm honored to be able to share your story. And first and foremost, before I get into what I see here in your bio, I would love for you to just tell the people a little bit about this little girl that I know that's originally from Phoenix City, Alabama. Just give them a little bit of your history about who was Shaquena, the little girl.
Well, people may not realize or really believe me when I say I'm a shy person. When you first meet me, I'm shy. I'm quiet because I'm getting to know the person or the people that I'm around. But once you get to know me, I'm talkative, I'm fun, I like to laugh. Growing up, it was me and my brother Jonathan, and then my mom. She ended up having two more kids. My biological mom, that is. I'm adopted, so is my brother that's under me, and I have a sister that's deceased and a little brother. And when I tell people that my sister takes me everywhere I go, I mean my best friend. I adopted her as my sister, not to replace my baby sister, but she's my best friend. But as a kid growing up, I was shy. I all stayed to myself. I did play with my cousins. They were my best friends growing up. You know, my grandmama didn't allow us to not be friends with each other because that's family is all you got. So you
That's
have
right.
to be friends with your family, with your cousins. And some of your cousins you just wanted to beat up sometimes. And that was me. I wanted to beat up some of my cousins, but my grandmama said, no, you beat your cousins up, I'm gonna have to beat you up, wheelchair and all. And I couldn't run. So that's
So you heard Shaquana say she couldn't run. For most of you who may not know her, she's wheelchair bound. Now, Shaquana, have you been in a wheelchair all your life?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're talking about sisters, and if you could see, I have on a shirt today, it says, I'm my sister's keeper. So I think sisterhood is so important.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that it is really special that you adopted your best friend as your sister. That means she has taken time out to show you some characteristics that was near and dear to your heart, you know. And a lot of times, family members take each other for granted, and they don't do that. So that's a wonderful thing. So let's talk about your upbringing. You said you were adopted. Did you know you were adopted all along when you were a little child?
As a little girl, no. I think I was about maybe 10, 11 years old when I found out that I was adopted. I overheard a conversation, and I can't remember who it was between, but I did hear a conversation, and that's when I found out that I was adopted. I mean, I wasn't hurt by it. I just wish my mom would have told me, hey, you know, the one that you call your sister is really your mom, your biological mom. So,
So from a child's perspective, because there may be somebody watching this who may be in that same situation. Maybe they've adopted some children,
mhm,
maybe they haven't told them yet. Do you feel as though it is easier for the child if you let them know sooner?
yes. As soon as they understand what adoption means, then yeah, that's when you should tell the child, look, baby, I'm not your biological mom. I'm not the one that had you, but I'm the one that chose you to be a part of my family.
I like that. I like that, to tell them that they've been chosen. That would make a child feel privileged and honored and loved, you know,
Right.
and instead of making them feel rejected or like thrown away by their family. And I know different people uh, put their children up for adoption for different reasons,
Right.
and some of them are medical, some of them are emotional, some of them are for personal reasons.
Right.
So I don't know how much of the details they share with you,
Mhm.
but do you feel as though that's information that a child needs to know too, or do you think that the details should be spared until they're adults?
I think the details, especially if they're harsh details, like if they wasn't wanted, I don't think they should ever know that. But if it's medical or they just couldn't take care of the child, then yeah, you can tell them at an appropriate age. I say when they can emotionally handle that. But I was told at a young age that my mom was a young teenager, you know, and she couldn't, you know, handle being, you know, a mom at that time because my mom was maybe 17, 18 years old. So yeah, that's
And do you get along with your siblings,
I get
your
along with my
biological
siblings.
siblings?
Yes, ma'am.
And did they get adopted too by someone else, or did they stay with your mom?
My brother Jonathan, he got adopted by our grandmother, and my baby brother, he stayed with the biological mom. And if my sister hadn't passed, she would have been with our biological mom.
Okay. And
So
you do have a bond with your brother.
yeah, I have both my brothers, both my baby brothers.
Excellent, excellent. So now, since that time, you've grown up, you've been in a wheelchair. Can I ask you if it's, and if I ask you something personal, you can always tell me you don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
But what is it that has you wheelchair bound?
It's spinal bifida. And some people may not know what that is. But spinal bifida is where the child is born and their spine is exposed. And they have to go in and surgically put it back in place. And you got some kids that have the it's three levels. You got the ones where the kids can walk, but they have spinal bifida. Um, then you got the ones that can walk, but later on they will not be able to walk later on in life. They'll end up in a wheelchair. And then you got me that was always born.
Uh huh. And somebody must have called us, so I'll give her a minute to go ahead and take that call. So right now, if you're just tuning in, I am speaking with
Okay.
Shaquena Harris, and she is a young lady who is a disability advocate. So far, she shared with us that she was adopted as a child, and she's telling us that the reason why she's in a wheelchair, she had spinal bifida, and she was giving you the different types of spinal bifida. Go ahead, Shaquena.
So, like I was saying, you got three types, and they have different names, but they're hard for me to pronounce. So I'm not gonna even try to mess them up. But
Okay.
the least severe severe form is the child can walk, no problems. Then you have the second where the child can walk, but later on in life, maybe with physical therapy, they might not end up in a wheelchair, but most likely they will. Then you
I
have
wish you could move that camera for IG because half of you is cut off on IG, but I don't want you to drop the phone. Yeah, just a little bit more, just a little bit. So listen, so let me ask you this. Is it curable?
no. I mean, it's not curable, but it's preventable, and you can prevent it. Once the mother finds out that she's pregnant, she has to take something called folic acid, and she does not need a prescription for it. She can go to her local pharmacy and get it, and it's on the shelf, and you can get it to prevent your child from being born with spina bifida.
So Shaquana, how old are you, if I may ask?
I'm 43.
43 years old, been in a wheelchair all your life.
Yes, ma'am.
How has that been for you? Will children mean, because a lot of times people don't understand what people go through when they're wheelchair bound.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've always considered yourself to be disabled when you were a child, because disability to me sometimes it can be a mentality too,
Mm-hmm.
as well as a status. Talk
Mm-hmm.
to me about how other people treated you with your disability in school. Were children cruel and
Yeah,
picking on you?
they, I've had children picked on me. I've had children actually physically bully me. I had one child come up behind me, and wheelchairs come with the handrail. So I had one child actually take my chair and dump me out my chair, and they had to call my mom to come get me so she can take me to the emergency room because they thought I had a concussion because I
Wow.
hit my head just that hard. I had um two classmates physically beat me in class. The teacher didn't pay me no attention. She really didn't, look out for me or protect me. And one of the students was a guy. He sexually assaulted me. So
So wait a minute, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that someone took advantage of you sexually because they knew that you couldn't really defend yourself?
yes, ma'am.
You know, in this world today, I knew we were going down the wrong path, but that's really sad. How young was you when that happened?
I was maybe 10, 11.
So wait a minute. When you got, I'm gonna use the term sexually assaulted or molested at 10, was
Mm,
this by a child or an adult?
a child.
Okay, thank goodness. So, but it's not good that it was a child either. And was you able to report it?
I didn't tell it.
Okay, so did he threaten you?
Yes, ma'am.
So let's talk about that for a minute, because there may be somebody on here that is been in a situation where they've been threatened, or they may have a child. Uh, Now that you're older, I'm sure you may have had to do something like go to therapy. I mean, how did you cope with that?
I put myself in therapy. I had to.
Because you didn't tell nobody, so you were suppressing this. You kept this to yourself.
Yeah, and till this day, I still haven't told my mama.
So, is there anything that you want to say to individuals out here who may be watching this, who may take advantage of people that are not able to defend themselves, that are wheelchair bound, or just bully them, or just mistreat them? What do you want to say to those people?
I want to say to bullies, you are cowards. You are monsters. And it's not cool to do something like that. It's not cool. It's not cool at all.
Because y'all have feelings.
Yes, ma'am.
You
We are
have feelings.
human. We are human beings. Just because we, live different does not mean we are not human. We are still human at the end of the day. We still got feelings. We still got thoughts. We still got wants and emotions. And it's not fair and it's not cool to treat us less than because y'all feel like we're less than, because we're not. We're still human beings. We still deserve respect and fairness.
That's true. That's very, very true. And then I want you, do you know Elizabeth, Queen on the Rolling Throne?
Yes, ma'am.
I think you should get with her because you are a disability advocate, and she is one too. She's very, very active in making sure. I think the two of you are very admirable, and you're very courageous in what you do and standing up for the disabled community like you do, for standing up for people who are wheelchair bound. And I think maybe you should partner with her and y'all should do something. She does some things, and she's involved in some magazines. And I believe that your voice should be heard. You should speak out on that. And I want to say I'm proud of you for being bold enough to do that. And now you call yourself a disability advocate now. So how have you taken on that role? What have you been doing as an advocate?
Well, as an advocate, now it fell in my lap. I didn't ask to be an advocate. It just fell in my lap I because I was in special education. So I saw how other kids got treated. And then as I started getting older, I saw how some adults got treated. Because in the disabled and handicapped community, depression is real. Is no joke. So what I've tried to do is I started my YouTube channel to try to give parents advice. That's the main reason why I started my YouTube channel, to give parents advice on how to treat their disabled kids, to give them tips on how to, as the kids grow up, how phases of their life is going to change from babies to toddlers to preteen to grown-ups. And a lot of times parents want to shelter their disabled children, want to keep their disabled children in the house, but you cannot do that. They have to live life. They cannot be sheltered from the world because the world will eat them up if you do that.
So for a parent who might be watching this, if they have a disabled child, do you think that they should address their disability more with them? Do you think that they should do things to make the child feel more empowered?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I feel like parents should, once you find out that your child has a disability and the doctor tells you what that disability is, learn about it. See what you can do to make sure that your child is equipped to go to school. Because me, I have a physical disability. It's different types of disabilities, but mine is physical. It's not emotional, intellectual, nothing like that. So I was placed into special education, which hindered me um intellectual a little bit. It made me a little bit slower because of me being placed in special ed. And I tell parents all the time, fight for your children. Never let them put your child in special education just because. Just
So
because
you were not a special education student. You just had a physical limitation,
disability.
but you could have been in a regular class.
A regular class. I could have been, but they saw that I had a physical disability and they just automatically thought, okay, she need to be in special ed. But that was the wrong thing to do. And with my mom not having somebody to advocate for her, she let them put me in special education. And I don't fault her for it at all. Because
Right.
she did the best that she could. And I tell my mama every day, you did what you were supposed to do for me. You did what was told of you to help me in school. So I don't ever fault you for the things that you have tried to do, the things that you have tried to instill in me. So never fault yourself. Never fault parents should never fault themselves. Just do what you need to do to learn about your child's disability to make sure that when they grow up, they are empowered, they are equipped with the world, cause the world ain't easy.
Right. Now, you as a person who had a limited disability anyway, just said you wind up getting depressed. And during this depression a couple of times, did you I once read or saw you say something about you actually tried to commit suicide.
Yes, ma'am. I've tried to commit suicide 4 times in my life
Now, was one of them as a child?
as a child. 3 of them was as a child.
And so what happened? Did your parent or somebody come in and actually save you? I mean, how did you manage to be successful in not killing yourself?
Where my mom never really noticed that I tried to do it because I grew up having seizures, so I had to take seizure medicine. So I had access to my seizure medicine. I could actually get it and take it myself. So I knew if I took an overdose, that would probably, get the job done. But what it did do was just put me to sleep, and I woke up and I was like, well, God, you got me here for a reason.
Well, I'm so glad that you were not successful too. And parents, put the medicine away. Put the medicine where the children cannot get to it, because you heard what she said. She took the medicine and she intentionally overdosed. So that is a forewarning to make sure you keep the medicine away from the children.
Right.
And now, as an adult, so were all 4 attempts by trying to over medicate yourself?
Yes, ma'am. The last time was Thanksgiving of last year. I tried to take ibuprofen. I end up taking 2, but then I got a phone call from Armani Jones. He ended up calling me and we had a conversation on the phone, and that's what stopped me. And he don't even know.
Wow. So Armani just happened to reach out to you on a day that you were trying to kill yourself, and he don't even know that you were attempting suicide that day. And he was the phone call that kept you from wanting to go through with it. Was
Yes,
it something
ma'am.
he said or did, or was it the fact that somebody cared?
Somebody cared and called because at the time I was going through a lot with, IG, just a lot of drama on IG and then real life, and it just blew up on me.
So IG, you said, so people on IG made you feel that bad that you wanted to kill yourself? So let's
Yes,
talk
ma'am.
about that for a minute. So we talk about bullying, y'all. So that's cyberbullying. So we need to stop the cyberbullying. If you get to a point where you make people feel that bad, I mean, and then this young lady has a disability, so that's even more reason why you should not do that. First of all, we don't know each other, so there's no reason for anyone to say anything negative to one another, or to just not want the best for one another. Everybody, there's enough room out here in the world for success for everyone. I don't know if you realize that. It doesn't matter what your industry is, it doesn't matter what your skill level is. If you're passionate enough and skillful enough and driven enough, you can make it. All right? But if you feel as though you have to be mean to somebody, unfollow them. Like, don't follow them. You don't have to follow them. You don't have to comment on their lives. You don't have to do that stuff. Like, there is no reason for that, because you have children, you have family too. And however you do for others, karma is real, and you don't want to make people feel that kind of way, you
Right.
know. So I commend you for sticking it out and staying out here. There's Queen on the Rolling Throne. Queen on the Rolling
Queen.
Throne. I told Shaquana that y'all should get together, because she's a disability advocate, and I told her, with the things you do with the magazine, that I felt like y'all would be a good partnership. I think there's a good partnership that could be made, or some kind of collaboration, because she has a voice and she likes to speak up for the disabled community. So I don't know if y'all have ever had that conversation, but I think it would really be good for the two of you to come together and do that, because I know that she's very passionate about it as well. Now, you also had a dream about wanting to be a comedian.
Yes,
When did that start?
oof, man, comedy saved my life. And I'm not gonna even play with y'all. I've been watching comedy ever since I was a little girl. I watched Teddy Carpenter. I watched Steve Brown. I've watched Ricky Smiley. I watched them all. And the main ones that really for real I watched was Steve Brown and Teddy Carpenter. Them two I watched them, and Howard Bell. I watched them three faithfully. Howard Bell almost got me put out my house because I
Oh, wow.
I kept hollering in the house. My mama told me, if you don't shut up hollering in my house, I'm gonna put you outside, wheelchair and all. And I
Wow.
tried.
Now, how many? So let me get this right. Teddy Carpenter, you were watching Teddy Carpenter even before you met him on IG.
Yes, ma'am.
So how was that experience? You met Teddy Carpenter in person after he was somebody you basically followed and admired in the comedy industry. Not only that, but after meeting him, you two actually became personal friends, and he actually had you come and be on one of his shows. Tell us about that experience.
Man, I'm gonna tell you how he did it. First of all, I found him on IG. I don't know how. I think it was through Ali Sadiq, another comedian of mine. I see him as a follower. But let me see. Yeah, Ali came on Teddy's live, and so I followed Ali over there, and I'm like, Teddy Carpenter. I'm like, it can't be who I think it is. So when I saw Teddy, I was like, yes. So I started having conversations in the comments, and I just started saying little funny stuff. He didn't even know I had already started comedy. I think I had been in comedy for about maybe, I think, 4 months, if I'm not mistaken. And so Armani came on the live, and at that point, I had, spill my guts to Teddy and everything, and he done learned a whole lot about me. That's how I met you on Teddy's live.
Yes, yes, yes.
And so, then Armani spilled the beans that I was a comedian, and and so Teddy was like, "Well, so Shaquana, since you graduate, no, since you're in college, I'm gonna help you with some funds." And so one day he called me on IG. He said, Shaquana, I'm gonna give you an opportunity. I want you to come to Atlanta when I come to Atlanta and not open up, but feature for me. And I was like, wait, what? You want me to do what? Because at first he promised me a T-shirt, but for some reason the T-shirt and the tumbler, he wasn't able to get it to me. He said, I want you to come to Atlanta and get your T-shirt and get your tumbler. I said, Ted, I'm not coming to Atlanta to get no T-shirt and no tumbler. What do you want? So that's when he said he wanted me to, come on his show. I mean, come to his comedy show, and he wanted me to do one show. And that's what I did. I did one show. After that one show, I did good, and he wanted me to do the second show. So
Congratulations on that. But let me ask you a question now, because I got to ask this question. Because I heard you on that first night talking about being in a wheelchair, but some kind of way the conversation got on you having sex in the wheelchair. I don't know how that conversation came up. It was something about you talking about that. And I know a lot of people probably don't think that people in wheelchairs are sexually active.
right.
And the funny thing is, I know that I heard Queen on the Rolling Throne talking about how She is fortunate enough to have a lot of people to come to her. So it sounded to me like y'all getting a lot of action in them chairs. So I need to hear about this chair action y'all got going on. And it sounded to me like y'all got a lot of confidence in them chairs. Y'all doing some tricks that we not even doing with our legs in them chairs. So I
I
need to hear about
mean,
these wheelies y'all doing in the bedroom.
I
Uh,
mean, I mean, okay, I lost my virginity when I was 29 years old. Okay, I started out late. I did. I started late, but people think just because you're in a wheelchair, you cannot have sex. I can. I just in a position that I have to stand. I can't do those. He gonna have to hold me up or lift me or pin me against the wall, something. But I'm not gonna be able to stand myself. So we're gonna have to be creative. Okay, we're gonna have to just be creative. I'm just gonna tell you that much.
wow. And I've understood that it's it's not a problem for y'all. Like
No,
it's not a problem. People accept you as you are, and I think that's a
some
beautiful thing because
some people do.
there are people out here. There are some people that want to be bullies, yes, but there
Right.
are some people that will actually see you. You're a beautiful young girl. You got pretty hair and everything.
Thank you.
Take the glasses off a minute. If you take the glasses off, people can see that face. Look at that. Look at that. Look at them eyes. Look at them
I just can't
eyes
see the
there,
comments
girl.
now.
No, ooh, look at that pretty
What's up, y'all?
everything she got there, y'all. So see, she's a beautiful young girl, and I'm so happy that y'all can find love too. So are you in love right now, Shaquana?
I'm single as a dollar bill. I'm
So,
single.
okay. Well, go ahead and shoot your shot. What kind of man you looking for?
Man, I want somebody that's taller than me. I'm 4'8". So anybody that's 5 feet or 6 feet, it don't matter. You got to believe in God. I ain't saying you have to be a Christian, but you have to know that God do exist. Have to have a sense of humor. If you got kids, let your kids be by one woman. Please let them be just by one woman. I want somebody that's educated, that's about their career and want to have a family, because I do want to have a family. Even though I'm 43, I still want at least one child before I leave this world, and I want to get married someday. um I used to say I didn't want nobody that was in the entertainment business, but since I'm in the entertainment business now, I would really like it if somebody was in the entertainment business. You don't have to be in comedy, but just somebody that understands the world that I'm in now and
I
can.
think that's good too because they need to know the long hours and the things that come with it. You have to be able to respect the fact that she's going to be social. She's going to know a
Right,
lot of people. You know,
right.
hey Pat, how you doing? So I want to say hello to everybody who's coming in on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hi to everybody. We're talking to Shaquana Harris. She's a disabilities advocate. She's a comedian, and she's talking to us about the challenges that people have as a person with disabilities. We talked about cyberbullying and people have bullied her. She's been molested. We talked about her going through depression and all the things that come. So we want to remind you that these are individuals too. People with disabilities are human beings, and we really need to be compassionate and be a little bit more considerate. And Shaquana has done amazing things. I mean, you just graduated from
Yes.
getting what
I,
you get, an associate's degree or a
I
bachelor's?
got my bachelor's degree in business administration.
Okay, she got her bachelor's, so you did, and you did that after your 40s.
I did it. I started at 39.
See, so I'm so proud of you. What made you go do that now?
My sister made me do it. Cause she called me up one day talking about, "Quan, let's go back to school." I'm like, "Who is we? When you start speaking French?" She said, "Girl, come on, come on back, come on, let's go to school." So I said, "Oh, all right, let's go." So we stuck in there together, and and along with other people that became friends with me on IG, pushed me. But the main person that really for real pushed me to graduate is Armani Jones. Without him, I don't think I would have done it, because he pushed me hard to go get my education, because he believes in education, and so do I. Because in the disabled community, a lot of kids don't have the mental capacity to even go to school and get that education. They just pass them on through. And to me, that's not fair. So The ones that can learn should learn and continue their education. And I try to be that example of education is important. You may think that you may not have to use your education, but you're gonna have to use it down the line. So go ahead and use that education.
Wow, that's really good. And I heard you say Armani's name a couple of times, so that's really good. I'm so glad to know that he has been such a great inspiration to you, someone who is feeding into you, inspiring you, and pouring into your comedy career
Yes,
and
ma'am.
mentoring you. So that's really, really good. So, what is a dream of yours? Since you've now started doing comedy, you've
Mhm.
done some open mics. What next for you in the comedy world?
I want to get better. First of all, I want to get better at it, and that way I can write my own jokes and not have to ask anybody, "Hey, how this sound? How do this make sense?" I want to be able to get to the point where I can be confident enough to actually go on stage and know that my jokes will be just fine. And that's the reason why I go to open mics. Because at first I was scared to go to open mics because a lot of people in the comedy world know that when you go to open mics, a lot of times your jokes get stolen.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when my sister takes me to open mics, I make sure that she records my set. I make sure of that. Um, so that way, if somebody try to steal my jokes, I've already got it recorded. You cannot steal my jokes. You can't twist them. You can't turn them. So yeah,
Wow, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, who have you studied when you decided you wanted to be a comedian? Who did you study, like, in order to decide what kind of comedian you wanted to be?
there was a comedian named Jay Wills. He was in the wheelchair. He was not born like that. He had a back tumor, and that's how he ended up in the wheelchair. I met him through another comedian named Billy Sorrells. He introduced me to uh Jay. And so me and Jay became friends. We used to DM each other and talk. And he saw my YouTube channel, saw all my videos, and he was like, "You need to do comedy." I said, "Man, stop playing." Tell me, "Yeah, you need to do comedy because you are funny." He said, "A lot of stuff that you talk about, you can turn into jokes, and you can deliver them and be an advocate for the disabled community at the same time, because a lot of people in the disabled community may be too shy or embarrassed to speak up for themselves and talk for themselves. So this could be your way of shining a bright light on the community that we're a part of."
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't able to see me do that because he passed.
Oh man.
Yeah, he
Eh,
passed.
wow, I'm so sorry to hear that. Now you also take your sexual abuse, depression, and you do jokes about that.
Yes, ma'am. I have to, because if I don't, I'm gonna drive myself crazy. Cause I know sexual assault, sexual abuse does happen in the disabled community, and it does not have to be a kid sexual abusing a kid. It could be an adult sexual abusing us. So I try to make sure that I shine a light on that as well. Cause sexual abuse, I cannot joke about sexual abuse because it's not funny, even though my job is to make all situations funny. To me, I still cannot make that funny,
Right.
because a
Right.
lot because a lot of people don't find it funny. So I can never sit down and write a joke about sexual assault. What I do is I talk about it, but not in a joking way, because it would never, it won't go right, because it's not for
Wow.
rape and sexual assault and molestation. That's not funny. Now you got some comedians that have been sexual assaulted, raped, that's able bodied, that can actually make those jokes and make it funny. But me, I can't do it. I just not have I haven't found the strength to actually been able to do that yet. Maybe one day, but I don't know. But today I just can't do it.
Yeah, because that can be kind of offensive sometimes, right? When they
Yes,
do that, right? So they
Yes,
have
ma'am.
to be careful. Is there a message that you would like to send as a comedian?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a message that you would like to send to other comedians about the way they need to do that comedy when it comes to people being disabled? Is there a way that they need to be a little bit more sensitive?
When it comes to, okay, this is to all my fellow able-bodied comedians. When you're making disability jokes, get to know a disabled person first. Get to have a conversation. Call them on the phone. And just have a deep conversation with a disabled person. You'll learn a lot, and that way your material can build. And if you don't have any family members, because you got a lot of able-bodied comedians that don't have disabled or handicapped uh, family members, so they don't know about this world, and I can't fault them for it. But when you do know better, you should do better.
Right.
And if you're gonna book a disabled comedian like me, I need for you to make sure that even though I'm an adult, I'm grown, I'm still your responsibility. Cause if anything happens to me, you're gonna have to answer to my mom.
So they need to be able to accommodate
Yes,
disabled
ma'am.
comedians too. So are there some accommodations that you're finding that they don't have in these venues?
Yes, ma'am. Some of the clubs that they have, I can't get on stage, so I have to be on the floor. I've been to King of Diamonds. That's a strip club in Atlanta. I could not get on the stage, and they have comedy night every Wednesday. So if I ever go back to King of Diamonds, there need to be a way for me to get on that stage. And
Right.
I've been to the open mic here in Columbus, and the guy that put me in the open mic, he was scared for anybody to lift me because everybody there had been drinking. So he didn't want to risk it. But if people hadn't been drinking, he probably would have got somebody to lift me in my chair. At the open mic when I was with Teddy, Teddy had two people to lift my wheelchair and make sure that they did not drink the whole night, because he did
Wow.
not want nobody to lift me and drop me, because then he would have been responsible for me getting hurt. So he took care of me that night.
So handicap ramps,
Right.
handicap bathrooms, things like that. These are questions that you probably will ask.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and I think also when you begin to accept the booking, you should make it known and perhaps include it in your writer.
Yes,
Like
ma'am.
in your writer, you should specify what you need so you can make sure that they have it there. So it's not always going to be on them, but you have to let them know what you need and make that a requirement. That's what I'm going to suggest. Make that a requirement. That way, together, y'all could discuss this because all money is not good money.
No,
If you
ma'am.
put yourself in a predicament, and somebody said, Sharon Womack said that's against the law. Ramp require ADA law. Yes.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
thank you so much for saying that, Sharon. That is very true. And I know I was with someone in October, November. We went to a couple of restaurants, and there was no ramp. There was no ramp for her to go up. And the people that owned the restaurant said that it was the city. The city, it's something to do with the city. So what you have to do is, if you are in that predicament, you have to make sure that you let it be known. Don't just go places and turn away.
Right.
Go to them and let them know, listen, I wanted to frequent this restaurant, but you can't accommodate me. Let them know that. Some of them don't have the parking space in the front close enough from you, the
Right.
handicap space, and a person can't go far. So
Right.
one particular restaurant, we didn't go because there was no spaces. There was no handicap spaces allotted in the front, and she couldn't walk that far. And
Right.
she refused to have me drop her off because it just wasn't fair. It wasn't
Right.
fair. So you do have a voice. So as an advocate, that
Mm.
may be something that you may want to look into, is making sure that people are aware. And so you also have a dream about something you want to open up one day. Do you want to have your own venue one day?
I want to have my own comedy club here in Columbus, Georgia. and be able to invite comedians that I look up to, that I love dearly, and the ones that's coming up. I want to be able to have a venue for new comedians to come and do open mics and try out their jokes. And it's gonna be ADA
Approved.
approved and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody, able-bodied and disabled, will be able to frequent my club one day.
Wow,
And I'm gonna
that
name it
is so
my
cool.
to that passed.
And see, there she goes. She's dreaming. She's still dreaming. So she didn't let her disability stop her. She went and got her degree. She started that at 39. Got a bachelor's degree in business administration. She has been on comedy stages now with comedy greats like Def Jam comedian Teddy Carpenter, who she met on social media because she's a social media light out here. Shaquana also is good at promoting. She's a person who's monetized on social media, so she knows what she's doing. So a lot of people are not monetized. This young lady has been monetized. You've been monetized on YouTube for how long?
I've been monetized for a year now. This is my second time being monetized.
Uh-huh.
They took my monetization the first time and they
But that's
gave it
okay.
back
So
to me.
when did you get your monetization the first time?
The first time I got my monetization, which was last year, I forgot. Sometimes
So
last
it's been around 1 to 2 years.
1 to 2 years. Yes, ma'am.
So I want to encourage you now that you have it to go hard with that disabilities message
Yes,
because that's going to be a winner for you.
yes,
I
ma'am.
think that's an untapped market that probably needs more, and it's positive,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
there's enough people out in the disabled community. You continue to spread that message on how disabled people needs to be treated. You continue to add humor to it. I think that's going to be a winner for you. And then, of course, whatever has been working before. Now, you
Right.
also are a content creator. You're very creative when it comes to creating content. What can you tell people about creating content? Because you're good at that as well. I see you creating content and making videos, and a lot of people may want to do that. Is it your desire eventually to help other people to do some of those things?
Um, when it comes to content, what I do is I made me a folder and I wrote down all the topics I wanted to talk about, whether it be something in the news, something that has gotten on my nerves as a disabled person, just or something funny I want to talk about. Just whatever comes to my mind, I write it down and I go back and I do those videos. I constantly try to do something creative. I try to make sure that I talk about stuff that can help parents, like I said, with disabled kids. And I try to help disabled kids as well. Even though my channel is not for kids, I know I got parents that are watching with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to say things in my videos for the kids to understand me when they're listening, because I know I got young kids that are listening to me. So I try to say things that's at their level that they can understand.
I'm
And
glad you
I'm
said
talking
that. I'm
to
glad you
parents.
said that. Did y'all know that a lot of children are on these social media sites? TikTok was created for children. Did y'all know that?
I knew.
TikTok started out for children.
Yes, ma'am.
And so basically, that means that we have to be careful what we say. There's a lot of people who take things to heart about what they see and hear on social media, people.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we have to be responsible about what we post. We have to be responsible about the videos that we make. We have to be responsible about how we comment and the things we say under people's posts because people have committed suicide. People have tried to take their life based on what you're saying and doing to them. So we have to be real conscious about that and understand that we want to treat others the way we want to be treated. I mean, I think that's fair, you
And the
know.
one thing I do up under my videos, I've been putting out content for 5 years. I've had people say the most harshest things in the world to me, but I'm strong, so I can handle it. But at the same time, I got people that's disabled that's watching me and reading the comments along with me. So when they leave me dirty comments, I delete those comments because I never know who's reading those comments. because
That's a
that
good point too. So protect your followers.
right,
Protect your followers by deleting the negativity.
right.
That's what you're saying. So even if you can handle it, you control your environment. Protect your followers. Protect your audience.
Right.
You know,
I
and so
have
that's a good point.
cause like I said, I've gotten some dirty comments that should nobody say to anybody. I don't care if you are disabled or able bodied. I've gotten some messed up comments, but I delete them because, like I said, I got people that's disabled, and like I said, depression is heavy in the disabled and handicapped community. You got a large amount of people that think about suicide 24/7. And I got a responsibility to make sure that they do not lose their life.
Yes. Now I'm gonna tell you something. She also is good at promoting. A lot of you don't know, but I have a story time segment, and she does a lot of the work in the background for me for my social media. And so when you see all these flyers and a lot of these posts, so Kwana does a lot of that stuff. So she is very good at what she does. So don't ever undermine people and think that they are not capable. Give them the opportunity. So she's mine right now, so y'all can't have her. But once she finishes what she needs to do with me, y'all can, go ahead and hit her up, and she'll tell you her fee because it comes with a fee. But right now, trust me, I keeps her busy. I keeps her real, real busy because I think I'm going on, I don't know, almost close to 100 episodes, right, Shaquana?
Yes, ma'am.
And going on season 3. So, but her expertise is very valuable. She's helping me to get to my monetization. And I just want to say publicly that I truly, truly appreciate you. And I want to say that I admire your strength and your courage to stand up to the people, to continue to do what you do and overlook those ignorant individuals. Okay. And like we all know, we have the power of the X. You see that big X in the top screen? If you're somewhere and they're mistreating you, remove yourself, leave the room. Okay. Right. You have the power in the removal button. You have the power in the unfollow button. So right. You don't have to stick around when people are doing things. You can remove yourself. Don't be so desperate to be friends with people who are not meaning you any good. Okay? So remove yourself if somebody's not positive in your life. And so is there anything else that you want people to know about you with regards to who you are, Shaquana, what you're trying to accomplish here on social media as a disabilities advocate?
What I want to accomplish on social media is to make sure that the able-bodied and the disabled come together and really work together and understand each other. Because a lot of times the able-bodied look at the disabled as less than, second-class citizens. We're not dumb. We just are just a little bit different, and we deserve a lot of respect. Now you got some people that's in the disabled community that are assholes. Sorry, Crystal, but I'm just gonna say it. They're assholes. They're bitter because they are in a wheelchair and they cannot deal with it. And that's their way of deal with it, is being mean to other people and just lashing out. That's just their way of getting that anger out of them. Don't mind them. Just love on them just a little bit. Cause it's hard being the person in the wheelchair. It's really hard. Especially if you got somebody that used to walk and now they're part of my community. It's hard for them to really grasp their new life. Cause
Right.
9 times out of 10, somebody that used to walk and can't walk no more, 9 times out of 10, they may not be able to walk again. Now you got some that may be able to walk again with physical therapy and hard work and all of that. But then you got some that's permanently paralyzed. And you got those that really need help. And those are the ones that I really truly try to help and mentor and try to get through life, because they are constantly in pain. They constantly got a dark shadow over their head. So I try my best to lend my hand, lend my shoulder, so that they can, get that release and vent. Because sometimes that's all we need is somebody to vent to and not let it go too far. If somebody vent to you, let it stay between the two of y'all because you could be saving somebody's life by just listening and not trying to solve a problem. That's basically all my brain is about. Is trying to
Well,
save one life at a time with a kind word or a joke.
that's really, really powerful that you are concerned about other people. And somebody put in there, Shaquana is a lot stronger than you think. And I want to say hello to all of them that have come in today. I
Hey,
want you to share this live because this is important. You know, story time is about helping people to get their story out. But Shaquana's story is so powerful because we really need to be mindful about how we treat one another. It's no reason to be mean. It's no reason to be ugly. It's no reason to be negative. All right? It's no reason. And I see somebody said, I fell in love with Shaquana before I knew of her disability. She's a real regular person and great at what she does, and I endorse it. Indeed, indeed.
and that's
Very,
a fellow
very.
comedian right there.
Is it? That's good. That's good. And
And
see,
I
that's what you call support.
like,
And I'll give you the opportunity. If any one of you want to come on camera and give her flowers, I always let people do that. If you want to come on camera and give her flowers, you are welcome to do that here on IG. Because I think people should hear that sometimes. I like to give people the opportunity to do that on my platform when I'm interviewing them.
like,
I give people the chance to do that.
like,
Shaquana, I'm so sorry for all the things that you've endured, but I know that we are all we go through things for a reason, and it's not for us. You know, a lot of times it's a test that we go through, and if we trust the process, we can save another individual. And I see that somebody wants to come in. Let's see who that is. That's Katie Funny. She may want to
yes,
give me a
ma'am.
flower, so I would definitely allow that if she wants to do that. I'm trying to accept you, Katie. Are you following me? Because you probably do have to be following me. I am. There you go. Hi, Miss Katie. How you doing? Okay, so you can't let me. So you can't let me see your face because I never met you.
She's so pretty.
I just want to see your face one good time. Are you following me? Okay, go ahead. Get your little setup. Get your little setup. Oh, that is so special. Oh, look at you. Hey, beautiful. Uh huh. That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wow.
show us how to be strong and classy and still like give us our. She said she's funny. And I was like, she know me to be a ball, yes, girl. That's what she said. What she said. And I posted and I showed it to everybody. And at this time, I still didn't know that Shaquana had a disability. And in my eyes, because I'm a real person, all of us got disability. Everybody disability. I got disability. Everybody disability. I tell people all the time, like I said on stage, I'm on the spectrum. I just went diagnosed.
There you go.
And people do not understand it and see. And I literally, anything she does, I support and endorse it because she pays attention to what she does. She don't just deal with anybody. She dealing with you. She sees something. Once she see you ain't right, she cuts you off. Can't use her. She not stupid. She not. Don't think that. Like convince her for a couple seconds. Don't think that. Not disabled here.
Right. That's right.
The ability that she cannot control.
Right.
Right.
I think she's strong enough to ever come up with a way where she can't control it.
She going to control it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Carpenters is personal friends with my guy. I just call him my guy. We call him that. He 100% said he brought me out no selection. You're a squad.
That's right. He did. He sure did.
Out no cameras looking, no IG looking or nothing. Did it on camera and
Yes,
off.
he sure did.
No. She funny. So for y'all wondering if she funny, the that motherfucker's funny. Excuse my language. Funny. Funny. It ain't just her legs look funny. That motherfucker funny. So she go out like friends for roles coming up for her. Y'all can get ready. But I just wanted to come on and say that she stand behind it. I'm standing behind it. Strong black woman with the first Quanah.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't do it. You don't need it.
Right.
You don't need that as a crutch. She is funny, and that's what she's doing. She's good at promoting. If you're looking for somebody to be on internet content and all that, that's your girl to go. She ain't gonna be sitting around.
I hate her.
All you doing, that's all you doing.
No, she don't do too much sitting around because I keep her pretty busy.
She faster than me, I'll tell you that. But she is really a genuine
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
woman. And she did, and I don't even think she realized what she did when she threw her. She said how she felt. She came at me and was looking at me, and I didn't know it. And I was honored to be looked at a woman as strong who don't even know she is powerful and she is.
Wow. Do you hear that, Kaquana?
Yes, ma'am.
I bet she got more followers than me. And I be having my titties out.
Now, are you now you're a comedian as well, right? Where are you out of? Where are you out of? But I know you're being funny, but you're also being serious.
I'm funniest and it's the thing. And I'm from St. Louis. I'm out of the DMV area. Not even the same city. She's touching me. She don't even know she's touching me. She ain't never posted nothing I ain't like.
Okay. Yeah, because she's intentional about what she posts. That's good. And I don't think she leads with the disability. When you said don't lead with, I don't think she's leading with it. But I believe that she wants to be known as a disability advocate because she's passionate about making sure people understand not to mistreat those that are disabled. She's passionate about making sure people don't feel the pain that she felt when she went through her depression.
This lady for 8 months before I knew. Say,
Yes, ma'am.
she had already did everything she did. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not at a wheelchair. She pulled that off. That's a bad it was 8 months before I had a clue. And everything she was doing, I was like, who is she? I just figured she was like me. I don't show my body.
Right.
I just figured she was like me. I'm fake conservative. I'm not real conservative.
Right.
I'm fake conservative.
Well, that's good. Well, that's so good. The DMV is in the house. I see the DMV is in the house. Well, I thank you so much.
Thank you.
I said, I skin the crew. What's she over here?
Makeup. Makeup.
Yeah. Well, that's so good. Well, we thank you for sharing. Now, somebody else said, love me some Shaquana Diamond. If you want to come give her flowers, we're giving the opportunity because we're pouring back into her right now the way she pours into others. So you are welcome. And I want to thank you, some young lady, for sharing. I hope that I have to make sure I follow you. Send me a message so I can follow you, baby girl. Send me a message so I can follow you. I thank you, Miss Katie, for sharing.
Okay.
Please follow me, okay? And I want to try to get Miss Diamond up. Okay. Okay. Well, let's talk. Okay. What? Okay. Well, let's talk. Let's talk so we can.
But the world needs to know, and they don't know. Ron is beautiful inside and out.
Thank you.
And we're looking for somebody. I'm like, right, what's somebody word to request? And I ain't working. Crystal give her a little change.
Okay.
Somebody, I follow a lot of people because of
Wow, that's good.
she did.
Okay.
Put on my radar.
Yeah.
You can tell who hired her and who she just believed. I can
Right.
tell the difference.
Yes, ma'am.
First, again, believing in
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
the Cornell stuff. People have came to me because of Shaquana.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna let Diamond coming up here. I gotta get Diamond up here so she can give her flowers too, cause we on it. We.
I dropped those flowers to Shaquana.
You know I love you, girl.
Oh, Suki, Suki.
Anything I can do to help, reach out. So you see posting the shirt. I got
All right. Mwah. See you later.
Okay. Well, we can hear you, baby girl, but you got your radio on. Turn your radio off for a minute, honey.
if I turn it down, you can't hear me.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Well, go ahead and tell Shaquana. You want to say something to Shaquana?
I just want to say I appreciate you, Mama. And I'm so happy that you're doing your thing. And I know I could tell you were nervous when you first started, but you lost it down, girl.
Thank you.
Hitting it down. But I'm proud of you.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
so proud of you. I've been following you now, what, 3 years now?
3 years. 3
Yeah,
years.
so baby.
Thank you so
Yay.
much.
Well, we thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Where are you out of? Tell the people who you are and where you out of. Da-
Man, I'm from all over. But I'm born and raised in North Carolina, from Baltimore, live in California, and now on my way to Cincinnati, baby.
Okay, well, you drive carefully. We're going to get you off of here because we want you to keep your eyes on the road. But thank you so much for giving her flowers. Don't be
Thank you so
typing in
much.
there while you're driving. I saw the flowers. Stop it. Stop it. No, you're getting out of here. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, all right. You be safe out there. Lord have mercy.
They are
She on the
risking their
road typing all
lives.
them flowers. What in the world? Oh my God. So she gotta love you, Shaquana, doing all that, putting them flowers up there. Definitely. We appreciate you guys. Anybody else want to give Shaquana her
He is
flowers? I
crazy for
appreciate it.
real.
We know Shaquana, so you appreciate it.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, we appreciate you. And yeah, we know that Shaquana is very wise. She knows exactly how to do the things she does. And how did you feel, Shaquana? How did you feel to know what people think?
It feels good to know that I'm loved. Sometimes I feel like I'm not, but it's good to know that I'm loved and I'm appreciated. And I thank y'all for coming on here. The ones that did, I thank y'all.
Yes, I was trying to see where Armani was because I know if he came on here, it would be all over for sure for his stuff to see where he at. But he probably doing something. Ain't no telling what he doing. You know,
I,
Armani might be
I'm,
doing
I'm,
something,
I'm,
anything.
I brought. Look, I sent the invite back out to him again.
Well,
See if
he
come.
came on in the very beginning, definitely, but
Yeah,
that's before I was telling people to come in. But I
right.
sincerely do appreciate you for everything that you do, and I agree with what they're saying. You're very gifted. You're very talented. Only thing I tell Shaquana sometimes I want her to do is slow down. Once she perfects what she's doing, yeah, she's definitely on her way. And on that comedy stage, like you heard the young lady say, she's got an endorsement from one who's been out here for decades. So that tells you something. And he's inviting her back again
Yes,
to open
ma'am.
up again for him. So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
speaks volume. That speaks
Hey,
volume.
King Ali.
And I see somebody named King out there. King, if you want to give us some flowers. Excuse me. You,
But while they doing that, I want to give a shout out to 50 Shades of Fudge. He the one that gave me my opportunity to do comedy. I
who,
did his first show was on Zoom, which was last year.
who
He
was
gave me
that?
the opportunity to do comedy. 50 Shades of Fudge.
Okay, is he on here?
No, ma'am. He probably be working doing comedy.
Well, you know what? I like the fact that you are thanking the individual who gave you a shot, because sometimes we forget to do that. We forget to do that. You got someone on uh, YouTube called January Johnson. He says, I have a bone to pick with you when you're done. You ain't even say my name. Uh-oh. You better call his name.
January.
January wants you to say his name. January
January,
Johnson.
January, girl, look, you know you helped me get through college along with everybody else. Girl, I call you when I get off of here on January. She love messing with me.
Well, you know what? It's good. It's good to remember those who were there with you in the beginning. Because a lot of times people get a big head and they forget where they started. They forget where they came from. They forget the people who did the little things that help you get your start. So I'm appreciative that you are remembering all those people. So, any closing comments that you'd like to say to the people, Shaquana?
Well, my closing comments to everybody is love everybody, no matter the disability or non-disability, because we're all human. We're all in this world, this community together, and we have got to look out for one another. Never underestimate somebody because of a disability, because you never know, they might be that person to get you where you need to be. And if you mistreat somebody just because they have a disability, you may not end up where you want to be. So just make sure that you treat people with the kindness that they give you, because you may never know who may be the person to save your life one day.
And guess what? You heard the young lady said some people just don't have the diagnosis yet. You might just have a problem too. There's a
And
lot of people with some I don't want to say mental issues. A lot of people going through some stuff. There's a lot of people going through, and that's how I want to close the show and say, before you judge someone, put yourself in their shoes. Before you judge someone, take a moment and just say, dag, maybe they had a rough day.
right,
Maybe something happened. Maybe somebody's sick, or maybe somebody passed away. You just never know what somebody's going through. So let's not be so negative all the time. Let's try to be a little bit more compassionate. We need more love out here in the world. We need
right,
more positivity in the world. We need more laughter in the world. Okay? So please, please, please be considerate of one another. If you don't have nothing kind to say, don't say nothing at all. Don't say nothing at all. Just
right,
excuse yourself. If you having a bad day, then stay to yourself. Like,
right,
don't come on social media if you having a bad day. Like,
right,
recognize and be responsible and say, you know what, I'm not no good today. You
right.
know, and that's what we have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching Story Time right here with Crystal Bodie Smith, and we do this on Tuesdays at 8 p.m., Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern. And you are welcome to come and share your story. If you have a story, if you want to be heard, come. Let us help you get your story told globally. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a sad story, it could be a happy story, it could be a success story. The point is, we are here to help you to get your story out. All right? And you can do that by simply sending me a DM and saying, I have a story. That's all you have to do. Just tell me you have a story. It doesn't matter how many followers you have. None of that matters. It is not about the numbers with me.
Right.
All right, thank you, baby. I see you in the room. My daughter has joined. And be supportive. Be support. Acknowledge those who acknowledge you. All right. And I thank you so much for the love. I thank you so much for the support. If you're not following us, click the arrow on top and follow Shaquana. Follow me. Follow me. I'm almost at 4,000. I need to get to that 4,000. I'm ready to get to that 4,000. I'm almost there, y'all. So hit the follow button.
I'm trying to
Send
get
this live
3,000.
to 5 people. Send this live to 5 people and let me know if you have a story. I want to say God bless you. I hope that you heard something that helped you tonight. And again, We'll be back next week on Sunday. Who we got Sunday, Shaquana?
You got I Am Genius.
Oh hell! If you have seen that man's content, y'all don't want to miss that. Yeah. Woo! I Am Genius is hilarious. I love his content.
Right.
I absolutely love his content. On Tuesday or Monday, I know next week I have the sheriff who won in this area, in the Wake County area. And we got some good ones for you. We are booked all the way through December and January. Booked solid already. We are now booking for February. So you don't want to miss this.
Right.
You can always come back and do the replay, and you can always also go and get the full episode on the YouTube channel at APW Shaw Crystal. Shaquana, you have a channel. Tell them how they can reach you.
You can reach me on my channel, Shaquena Horace, ShaquenaHorace. I have a podcast with fellow comedian Armani Jones, Laughs and Libations. We're gonna be trying to do an episode this Sunday, hopefully. Crossing our fingers, and if I could cross my toes, I would cross my toes if I could. But please follow my channel. Also follow Armani Jones Comedy on his YouTube channel. We're trying to get him monetized. So
and you definitely want to follow them. And you want to go see Armani's episode. That was hilarious too. Armani is a trip. He's offering a lot of services too, ladies and gentlemen. And we just want to thank you so much. And hit us up. Follow Shaquana, follow me, and be safe out there. And ladies and gentlemen, mark us down because we have a special treat for you on Christmas and on New Year's. We have a special treat on both of those days. Those days happen to fall on my show date, so we will not preempt the program. The show will go on, and we're gonna bring you some holiday cheer. We got something good for you, so make sure you're here. All right. On that note, I want to say thank you, Shaquana, once again for all you do for me, for all you do for IG, for all you do for social media, for all you do for the disabled community. We thank you. We appreciate you. We salute you. You keep doing what you're doing. CBZ in the building. I don't know if you know that young man, CBZ. And CBZ, I don't know if you know this young lady because you're coming in on the end. But you want to find out who she is and follow her because she's really good at what she does. She's an up-and-coming comedian. I'm not even going to say up-and-coming. She's a comedian. You don't hit some things. You don't open up from Teddy Carpenter. You're a comedian. That's it. You have earned the right to say, I am a comedian. When you open up for somebody from Def Jam, that gives you the right to say that, you know. So make sure you do that. CBZ Entertainment will be getting an interview coming up too. We got him too. Diggs for Love in the building. I just finished hanging out with her in Richmond last week. Follow Diggs for Love. She's positive. We got something coming up for you, coming up with Diggs for Love. For we got some stuff we get ready to show y'all from some grown folks, some wise women. So stay tuned. January is going to be a great year. I have some stuff coming up in January, so y'all want to stay connected. I want to say good night, everybody. Yeah. Get ready. I want to say good night. God bless. And we'll see you next time on the next story time. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye. Turn it here.